exactly in France? Bordeaux.
I'm in Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux. They call it Bordeaux.
Bordeaux. Bordeaux.
Bordeaux. X is silent. So I'm in Bordeaux, which is known for wine, which is
Oh.
sort of Bordeaux wines are one of the best wines in the world. Bordeaux and Bourgogne, Burgundy, which we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny also.
So, did you have like a connection over there since childhood?
No. It's like it's a funny story. I'm married to a lady from France,
Okay.
and we met in India.
Acha, you guys met in India.
There was a plan either we go to Germany or,
Hmm.
but she told me she had a job here. She should come here. But
Hmm.
so she is basically she represents her father's company,
Okay.
uh, which is they are based. They're one of the biggest filmmaking schools in Europe.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Film and sound. They are the biggest. They're not one of the biggest. They are the biggest. They are in Paris, Bordeaux. And now this year they open in Lyon. Next year they'll open in Nantes.
Hmm.
They have approximately 2,000 students this year. Next year will become bigger. So,
Beautiful.
so she's heading Bordeaux. She's
Okay. 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 So, like these students like come from outside as well,
Yeah.
or
Basically, right now, what was happening before I came into your life, they were totally French oriented. Everything
yeah.
was French language. So whoever spoke French, international students, they could come and study in Paris and Bordeaux. For example, in Paris, we have about 1,400 students.
Mm-hmm.
The residency available, hostel and everything. It's a very big campus. Even here now, the new campus is coming. So now, last year they started converting few of the courses like bachelors and everything in English.
Yeah.
So they're becoming more and more English to get students from India or English-speaking countries to come and study.
Yeah. Hmm.
So right now they were focused on French.
Are
So
you teaching as well over there?
yes, I teach. I think they just want me to be busy. That's the reason they institute these programs to teach on music production on Ableton. We were planning to open our. Me and my wife were planning to open our own school along with the present school
Mm-hmm.
to teach only a 1 year program of music production, DJing, everything together. So that kind of fell apart because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we were supposed to start this year, and we were supposed to start recruiting students from early this year, which was February, March, and that's the time the COVID started. So we could not do any recruitment and everything. And there was another thing going on with the school buildings because right now where the school building is, that building would have been I would have been my school would have been a part of in that building,
Okay.
and this school would move to a very big building, which is under construction. So that building got delayed. This thing happened, COVID happened, so we could not recruit. So now the plan has changed a bit. So now what we're doing is, which we are converting, creating this course for 2 years or 3 years now, like a proper sound design because we already teach sound design, right?
Okay.
On
Yeah.
Logic and Cubase for the cinema.
Hmm.
So for dance music and everything. So we are working on a project which will start next year, which will be a part of 3IS. The 3IS is a bit in the main school. It's a huge one.
Yeah.
So it's a part of that only. It will be one of the courses in that. So we are working
Is
on
the
that.
is the dance music scene like pretty chill over there? Is it how's like the dance scene there?
Yeah, France has pros and cons. France is not very good with techno if you compare it to the other European countries. Like, if
Yeah.
you compare it to Germany, obviously is the best. Number two is, I would say, Spain and Italy.
Okay.
And France is in between, and it is not really happening because France actually has a lot of influence of their own cultural music, and they have a lot of multicultural ethnic societies here. Social people, for example, from Africa, from North Africa, Arab world, not many
Oh.
Asians. So what happened that music became a part of the culture because
Okay.
French, like for example, Punjabi music is a part of the culture of England. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because India and Pakistan were colonies, so it's
Of
like a part
course.
of the
Yes.
culture, Punjabi music. The same
Ah.
way there's African hip hop, rock, African Arabic stuff,
Hmm.
everything together, pop music, French music. So techno does not really have a big. There's not enough room for techno, and French are a bit more. they're not very they're not German, like they're not Berlin kind. They're not really. There is a group. I'm not saying there is not a group.
Of
There
course,
is
yes.
of very, but it's a very small one. The lifestyle is a little different than what you see in Germany or in Spain. They're a little bit more serious about their career. They're bit more ambitious about money. For example, French.
Oh, okay.
That,
So,
that
so, so the
so
people who listen to techno are not serious about that.
it's also not only the people who don't listen to techno are serious about money. People who produce music, techno music, also they don't make money.
Oh yeah, they do.
Understand?
Yes.
So everybody wants to be on the top. The fashion industry because France is more expensive than Germany to live. You know,
Yeah,
so
of
people
course.
are so that where the economy is more uh, capitalistic base, I would say that's the right
Hmm.
word. I don't. Techno
Hmm.
underground music has little scope. So
So how do you like go about gigs and everything over there? How do you?
I hardly play in France. I played initially for a few gigs and just for trial, and I think I realized France, first of all, except one or two gigs, I would say they were really played. Right, one was a big open air festival, which Bordeaux open air, which was
Hmm.
good. So that was good, and one more gig. I think the rest of the gigs were like not really. Uh, yeah, it's like I think India is much more ahead. Delhi is much more ahead. Bangalore is much more ahead. Goa is much more ahead. So these
Hmm.
Indians are much more ahead in techno and underground scene than French are. Way they consume music is also different. For example,
Hmm.
we go to for example, you go to a very kind of a techno gig in here, which is in a club. So
Yeah.
you see guys with the wine glasses trying to flirt with a girl. So it is like
Uh,
very like it's not techno, it's not underground. Like in Berlin, for example, if you go, nobody is worried who's the next one. They don't go to flirt, for example. This is what I see. They don't
hmm.
flirt on the dance floor. You understand?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a different scene. So it's much more fun for people who who uh, who come for music, who are not totally smashed on alcohol or substances, just to hack off enjoying it. Like Germans, I think that the Berlin, the people know how to consume how to
Hmm.
consume.
So is it like looked down upon if you like try to flirt in clubs or something?
I don't know. I'm too old. I don't flirt. I don't even.
No, no, I'm just asking the culture
No,
and
no.
everything. Is it
For me,
down?
I think if for me it is like what it was in '90s in India. You understand?
Hmm. Hmm.
90s in India when I was DJing at places like Oasis, and Oasis was my kind of place, or Jane's. People go to show off, people go and buy book tables and spend money, champagnes. Even Climax, my club Climax, and Cookie also I think must have happened. I don't remember in Cookie because I
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a culture of 90s, I would say, in India. And I'm sure there are clubs in Berlin also, for example. There are some pop clubs which I don't know, which I haven't been. I think I went to once or twice to a pop club in Berlin in my whole life.
Yeah.
Because of my some friends who wanted to party from India, so I took them there. Otherwise, uh, yeah, it's not looked upon. I think it's as a music producer, as a DJ, I rather play for somebody who's focused on music, and
Hmm.
it's like it's a
Yeah, that a techno sort of music is meant for that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't distract yourself.
yeah, it is like because because techno music is not with lyrics and everything. It has every
Yeah.
little sound has its own impact. Every little activity that you create, action you create on the with your equipment, with the
Hmm.
effects, that has its own impact, and you want people to recognize it. You want people
Yeah,
to
I
enjoy
got
it. People to realize that okay, yes, you have put in effort to create that
you. Of
particular
course.
sound, particular atmosphere.
So
So
I've heard that like there's this form of music called Frenchcore, which is really like close to hardstyle music.
yeah,
So
yeah.
is that like really popular there in France?
I think I played in one of the parties, just underground party, in the beginning of my arrival here, when I arrived here actually. So there was this guy, and I was playing at 128 BPM, which is for me is pretty cool, like I'm pretty fast. And this guy comes in after me and plays his French core from that other city, and he was playing 148, 158. It was for me, I don't have personal taste, but it's a GABA. It's like for me, old GABA in 90s. We had this GABA from Amsterdam, GABA trance.
Yeah.
70 BPM, something like that. And even I hear some techno DJs, either they're too commercially inclined towards the techno music, they follow those labels and the artists which they know now is like drum code kind of stuff, Nina
Hmm.
Travis, Adam Bayer, or they have their own little kind of a thing which does not really impress me or does not really I don't find it interesting, but there are people they consume that, which is French pop, which they call it.
Yeah, yeah,
And so even if you see the DJs, the way they mix, few of them are really great. For example, we cannot forget that France produced one of the biggest legends of techno, Laurent Garnier. Laurent Garnier is from France, and there was other guy, Dimitri from Paris. There was somebody else in the 90s. Even David Guetta used to play very cool underground that time.
Hmm.
TV
Hmm.
commercial.
Yeah. I've seen couple of ones.
There was some other guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, who passed away last year, I think. In fact, the French do make some really cool, they're really cool producers in France. In fact,
Hmm.
sometimes you don't even know they're French because
Ah.
they're not really, they're not even France, for example. There's a
So how do
package.
they like go about gigs and everything like in general? Do they travel outside? Do they host their own gigs here?
I think it's any country, like any city, except okay, Berlin is very special. Maybe I'm spoiled by Berlin, and I'm spoiled by my stage which I created, which I had in India with my own clubs and everything. But I think everywhere is the same thing. You go for the gigs and you ask for money, and you create your own parties, you create your own name, you create your own little scene. I'm sure it's that, but that's how they do.
So, so I want to ask you like, how did you start out as a DJ producer, and how is it different from when you started and
I
the way
started it.
it's now?
I started in '91, I think. 91, yeah, 91, 92, I think. I started with a place called My Kind of Place in India as an
Hmm.
assistant. Yeah, I was assisting a guy called Joe Azeredo, who is in Bombay.
Okay.
Uh, in fact, before that, I was working for 3 months in a place called Bistro in Hoskas
Yeah,
Hill.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
three
It's
months I
still
worked there as a
there or
DJ. Yeah, so from in August till November,
ah,
and it was that time there were tape decks in that place, but I had learned on record players, how to mix. That was the only way to
ah,
mix, do DJing.
ah, ah,
Then I found a lesser paid but assistant DJ job at My Kind of Place, which you have access to the records, you have access to the turntables, you have access to the atmosphere, and you're working under somebody who's much senior. So
hmm,
Jonas Rader was my senior, so I learned a lot from him. We had a very great relationship. Even now we have one of the best friends. Actually, we talk. He taught me a lot. I should forget it. So we had so I started there, and then Joe left, and then I think I was too young. I was 19 when I started DJing in India.
oh, oh, okay.
So 1992, right? Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah.
So I think I had this, and there were only 5 or 6 DJs that time. There was a guy called Sunny Singh who actually taught me how to mix.
Oh, okay. So you learned it on the job. You didn't
No, no, I
do a.
learned it. I learned it as a private course with Sunny Singh.
Okay, okay.
He lives in Canada now. He used to have this shop, Blues Music Shop.
Hmm, hmm,
I don't know whether you know about it now. And then I joined as an assistant officially, like to Joe's Radio at My Kind of Place. And there were other DJs. There was a guy called there is a guy called Philip, who's fantastic. And there was Sunny Sarid. There was Sunny Sarid, who was like a legend of even now. I respect him. He was one of the most popular one that time.
hmm,
There was
hmm.
like who else was there? There were 5 or 6 DJs. And Jazzy Joe, yeah, Jazzy Joe was DJ of
Jazzy Joe, yes, yes, yes.
Jazzy. Jazzy was a DJ of CJs. So then I went in and out Singapore, here, there. I was playing all over. I think I was too curious to be the best. So I did everything. And then one day I was picked up by Oasis. Oasis never had an Indian DJ, so they picked me up all of a sudden. I think, and then My Kind of Place did not want me to leave, so I arranged Jazzy Joe to come to My Kind of Place. Then I could leave, so I left. Yeah, so Jazzy moved from CJ's to My Kind of Place, and I could
Okay.
leave. I could go to CJ's Oasis. From there, then it just took off. It just
Hmm.
became bigger and bigger.
Couple of years back, I went to this workshop with Mr. Mash Mendi Ratnam and
Mash. Mash is one of my students. Mash,
Oh, oh.
yeah, Mash learned from my school. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay.
He's great. He's super. He's a very nice human, very nice DJ. He's a very good technical guy. Very down to earth.
So yeah, that's when I met Jazzy Joe there at the
Jazzy.
walk. Yeah. So like, who are your favorite musicians? Like, not especially like techno or anything of that sort, but could be like jazz or blues or Bollywood, whatever. So like,
I
what's
I like I grew up with stuff like Cat Stevens, Percy Sledge,
mm,
ABBA, like regulars, and in the poppy time Madonna, obviously Michael Jackson, Rod Stewart, Johnny Hates Jazz, all these kind of stuff, modern
mm,
talking, all those classic 80s,
yeah.
genre music. So when I started DJing, yeah, I started with pop music. I was playing pop music because techno was not really techno. I started playing very early actually. When I got here, I could get some records from Berlin, and it was like wow. Everybody was like, "Oh, what are these
When was
records?"
this? When was
In
this?
the 90s, I think the 93.
90s.
Yeah,
Oh.
actually from the beginning, because when I started DJing on the records, I used to have record players, and I used to buy my records from Germany.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
and I started bringing the records to the club, and they were like,
Mm,
wow. There were not many that time. There were 20, 30 records. And then I realized, okay, because my brother still is in Berlin, I
mm,
had
mm.
somewhere so I could get records. And I used to travel a lot.
Ah, okay.
And I used to get records, before they were released. I had collection. So it was
That's
like,
like
but
really
there were
good.
some Berlin DJs who were my friends, record labels who were my friends who used to give me records for free or whatever. And I used to play. And that's how actually I
Mm.
had, I think I was the first one to play real Berlin techno in India. Because nobody
So
knew how to do Berlin. Nobody knew where Berlin was till 2006 or something like that.
okay. So your brother used to be in Berlin back then, and he used to be.
Yeah, no, yeah. So Berlin, no, so Berlin, yeah. So our brother and my godfather. So if I needed any record, I would tell them, or my friends, Berlin friends. They used to DJs who are like they used to give me records.
So how did people used to react back then to techno music back in
So,
93,
some
92?
people liked it. It was like you have 500 people in the club, and then you have only 20 people. You
Mm.
start connecting who like that music,
Yeah.
right? Then. Some of the other, okay, you are not a strange idiot who's playing this strange music that
Mm.
500 people do not like it, but at least 20 people who admire, who start becoming who start appreciating what you're doing. You're trying to be different. So that's what changed. There were people, I still remember there's a friend of mine, he's Manish Chaudhary, for example. He used to be there. And then in Oasis, I think there was a time after 2 to 3 in the night, there was a whole group of these social friends of mine. We're still friends with each other who were like at the back of the DJ console. There was a big space,
Mm.
right? And that time I used to start playing hard techno and trance, and then I used to go to 5 in the morning, and then that's how it grew. And these kids were already they were living in studying in England, America, all over the world, right? They used to
Mm.
come for holidays to India, and they used to
Yeah.
hear the same music that time in Ministry of Sound or something like that. So they were used to that kind of like they
That's
would
so
come back,
cool.
wow, it's the only and Gungu was Bollywood. And
Uh,
I was like, when I would start playing, it's like I would play pop music in the beginning, then my assistant would play, then I would take over as a techno. Like I got encouraged by people. So for
mm.
me, it was to play a different record was uh, uh, always a pleasure. I have
Mm.
it. Only I have it. I would. So this is how it happened.
And how has this feeling changed now that music is available on streaming platforms and everywhere?
Uh,
How do you
I
feel about it? Do you like
I
do you
I
think it's better or
I remember when I was when the MP3 culture was starting in beginning of 2000.
mm.
I remember I used to have this camp. I started a campaign with my company, and I had T-shirts saying "fuck MP3."
Of course, yeah, MP3
So
is
MP3 was the first thing, and it was like, uh, but it's technology. You cannot. Uh, there is let's face the fact it was getting convenient, and it was getting more challenging for the people. because more and more people are coming in. The technology changed from record player, the CD players came, the CD players became the sync button came, the more effects came, the more technology kept moving and kept, in the beginning the technology was like one little small little development in the technology, DJ mixer or something would take about maybe a year, for example, to change.
Yeah.
Now it's like at this moment you see every 20 seconds there's a new technology developed by some DJ equipment company, music production company on this planet.
Yeah. Amazing. I saw that pen drive sort of thingy which you put on the vinyl and you can
Yeah,
scratch.
yeah, yeah. So it was a pen drive thing, and then I remember my friend Martin Aller gave me some CD players, Westex CD players. So what you could do is you could connect this something kind of a hardware on your vinyl,
Hmm. Hmm.
vinyl player, record player. So the rubber will move like a vinyl, and actually it's playing the MP3 on the CD player. So I had that
Oh,
technology also. It was like, oh god. So the technology moved. So and technology is moving. So
yeah.
it's but it's easy for me for a guy like me who was traveling a lot with records. It became easy. I think in 2008 or 9 I started moved to Traktor, like computer and playing, and I found it very easy because I had so much music in my head which I wanted to play. And before when I used to travel to Germany or I could travel to gigs, I would take only 70 to 100 records. That much you can take. It was too heavy and it's difficult to transport. And sometimes you end up in a gig where your set music is not the one perfect for the place. So
Hmm. Hmm.
and uh, and I am not the one who actually plan the. I don't plan sets. I don't plan the first track. I don't plan the last track.
Oh,
I
okay.
know okay, this track I would like to play, and I see how it how does it go with
Even
the.
if you're like playing in a festival or something, you don't. Oh,
I can never plan.
hmm.
I can never
That's
plan.
new. That's quite new.
But yeah, no, but I think that's what most of my DJs of my time possibly grew up with. No planning.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know. At least I know. I don't. I never. We never discussed this question, this topic back in those days. But I still don't. I still do not organize my playlists, for example. Like I have.
What
I,
do you
I,
say?
no, 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 no. I do not. So, for example, now I try to. Last year, I think I tried to move from Tractor to Pioneer CDJs with USB. So then I had to do that thing, and I find it so irritating to make
Hmm.
those playlists on the and on those record box,
Yeah, yeah.
and then because the CDJs have to read it, so I take 6 7 USBs with like double copies, this and that, blah blah blah. But then
I know what you
and
mean.
then I plan it A B C D, so I don't know the names. I know A B C. A is like if it's a kind of a mellowish techno. B is
Yeah.
like harder. C and D is like Okat. Then I call it Okat. My folder is called Okat. अपनी
Okay.
औकात then that is my most favorite. I try to go to my औकात folder as much as possible. So whenever I
So
find any
that's like full banger, like
that's my full that that I know this is what I enjoy playing,
yeah,
and I have to somehow sometimes you go to a party, you go to a club and play some rooms, for example, which you don't know of, where
yeah.
you don't know what to expect. But some rooms where I play, which is my favorite clubs in Berlin, are Sisyphus, Hanahala, for example. I know I have to take nothing else, only my Okat folder. So maybe Art Plus also should be created. It's amazing.
So like I wanted to know like why do you like do what you do? Why music? Why not anything else? Like
Lack of
you know,
education. It's called
huh?
lack of education. And,
Seriously,
you know, I
you know.
think I was lucky that I could make a career out of it. I could live a very, very, very good life. I could develop it further. I could create something for myself as well for the scene I was in.
Hmm.
So I was lucky. I was actually lucky. So I still think I have capacity and I have capabilities to do it. But at the moment, with COVID, you know, when things were just about to go right, everything started falling apart all over the world. So it's not only me. So yeah, so I thought, yeah, music is one thing you can do anywhere, especially the kind of career I had. I was I'm kind of proud of it to a certain extent, you know, that I can survive anywhere with my music knowledge
Hmm.
and with my skills. So So this is what I can do.
Hmm.
This is why I do it, and I still love it. And I love it. To be honest with you, I love it. I hate moving out of studios. And I have a couch in every studio. Wherever I had my studios, I have a couch. I sometimes just sleep here. I don't even go up. I just if I sometimes don't do, I just totally I just like to be with music and create something different and improve.
So what's your like reason for moving? Is it personal, professional? How did you like decide that you want to move abroad now?
I,
Like, I
I
mean, move out of India.
move out of India. I was always I have a background to be live spending my life in Berlin and internationally, and then I was in India till I was owning the clubs. My last club was Cookie, if you know the
Hmm.
clubs in that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
almost 8 years ago when I shut it down. So I was there, but I was still going in and out. I did not, when the club business was going on, I did not really appreciate the way the regulation, rules and regulation government was behaving. You know, it was not supportive of the club business. It was not, it was very strange. It was, in fact, before that Delhi rape case, which was, police
Nirvaya?
did by a rape case, I shut my club down before that. So I'm very lucky. I was the
That was
most
2012.
2012. 2012 December it happened. I shut my club. My last operational day was 31st of March, which is the financial year ending of 2012. So before that, I was kind of pissed off, and I said, okay, no, Delhi. I kind of investment of time, energy, and emotions. I put it in Delhi. I think I'd rather be happy in Berlin, and I kind of started disliking the way the society was moving,
Hmm.
social scene was moving, and the way the government was moving. It's not only the money; it was also the kind of stress you do. So go through. So the same kind of effort I will be appreciated somewhere. You have to go somewhere where you're appreciated, not where you. So I wanted to go out, and now I was lucky that I shut it down. I was like, I would say thanks to God. There are some powers who forced me to do a few things, right? And then people are making. And I remember my competition friends club were making. Oh, you got scared. You're leaving India. You're shutting your clubs down. And then they suffered it. They're still suffering. And then this is why I wanted to go. And then came our beautiful BJP government, which is much more worse than ever before. Today, if I see what is happening in the police with the government regulations, everybody is scaring, you know. So I wanted to have a balance. Uh, what word will I use? I wanted to have a balanced, logical life where human life and efforts are appreciated and respected. So India is not the place.
Hmm. I know what you mean. But what about people who are left behind? I'm sorry.
Oh yes, I really admire. I really pray sometimes. I don't want to say those things, but I really wish and I really pray sometimes. All people who are right now suffering in this industry, especially, or rather everyone, and in this industry also the club owners and DJs who are trying to make an effort, who are suffering in India at the moment.
Yeah.
Possibly have not made even a single penny, and they have to pay, and the people working in the industry. So it's and the government has done nothing except really, arranging rapes and killing Muslims and creating cow security system, whatever they do.
That gets it. So, how did like COVID affect your lifestyle there in Bordeaux? How do you like?
To be
How's
honest,
like your lifestyle and everything?
to be honest with you, I was in India and my wife just forced me last day. I had to cancel my trip to Berlin because the COVID thing has started, and my brother said he possibly has COVID. So I said, okay, I will not go to Berlin. I'm supposed to play Berlin and Vienna and Munich. So I was in India. I said, okay, instead of going to Berlin right now, I'll go to France directly. So I cancelled
Okay.
my last leg of my tour in March. I
Huh.
was supposed to come back on the 20th of March, but my wife kind of, got panicky and I had to fly immediately, like with this
Was
plan of.
this after it was declared the
No, no,
lockdown
no,
and everything?
it was 16th of March. I
Oh.
the 15th night. So 15th night because 17th March there was in that there was a sphere that there was kind of it was kind of a show it was kind of show that Paris France will go into lockdown. I reached Paris on the 16th, 6 o'clock in the evening. Took a train
Yeah.
from Paris to Bordeaux. I was on the train at 8:30. President Macron came and announced, "Okay, tomorrow morning we are shutting down at 12. So do your
Ah.
shopping, whatever." So I reached 9 o'clock at home, and it was I was like I was in a safe place. I was home. So, and to be honest with you, COVID has been really, really good to me.
Yeah.
I think we are blessed that I'm home. Me and my wife was working from home because she had to manage a school. Because I was teaching, I was forced to learn. I was forced to do things which I should have done 10 years ago, like online teaching. I love it,
Mm.
right? Learn something different. It was initially it's because when you're 40 plus, the technology kind of.
I know what you.
And I'm not the best with computers and then writing emails and so I learned that. I spent a lot of time with for my school project, because I have to do thesis. I'm learning how to make videos, how to create, whatever tutorials for the students.
Oh,
And
are you like creating content
yeah,
for YouTube? Oh, okay.
so I'm not putting on YouTube right now, but I'm creating content for my YouTube tutorials and everything. For example, I do all this stuff. I have some support from really cool big brands of analog synthesizers and instruments. They supported me. They
Mm.
gave me a lot of free gear. I
Okay.
did it, and yeah, I improved my skills in production. I'm very proud of it. You know, I wanted to change also my style. So
Mm.
I moved to a style which I wanted to create on my own, but I was not able to do it. There was some stupid mistakes which were coming in and out. So I spent a lot of time. So this it has been good. I've been home. Luckily, we have a nice place. We have a garden at the back. We are in a cool city. Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you like play any instrument as well?
I
Like a
don't play.
guitar? Or...
No, 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 no. I don't play anything. I don't even play a keyboard. If you see my setup, I don't even have a keyboard here. I don't have a MIDI keyboard here. I have
Acha,
only sequences. I'm not a keyboard guy, but okay, my brother-in-law, who's a musician, who's going to be
huh.
we're trying to do a project together with him. He's a
Hmm.
great pianist, so he taught me a few things. I don't even know what key is, like what keys are there. I just know my ear, so
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
matches.
If it sounds good, then it's good.
Sounds good. It matches in key. I know it's wrong, it's right, whatever. So I produce it. Yeah.
So like you have an academy. What's the name of the academy? I'm sorry.
But by private academy, I used to have an academy called Studio Bakers in India. If you know, it was
Oh,
a
right.
Studio
Uh,
Bakers was the first DJing school technically. You call this Mickey, Mash,
uh-huh.
Giant. Everybody worked or learned from there. And
Mm-hmm.
all these DJs come. So it was like they used to call it popcorn machine. I used to do. So I must have trained about over 300 DJs or that. So I used to have that. And then here I wanted to start privately. Because I was not able to find job here in Bordeaux, and I was not because of my French, and I had this kind of a thing. I don't want to work for my wife's company or whatever. Then I started something called online Sharma Sound Academy, which I right now use it for
Yeah.
online teaching. Right. Then we started a project last year for this school. So today we shut the account. We opened a company. We shut the company today itself because now we will become a part of the main school, which is called 3IS.
Okay. So for now, it's going to happen online.
What for 1 year because the recruitments of the students, the courses will start in next year, where I will
March,
do. Then we
March
talk.
or April.
Right now, I teach. Like I do some private modules, some special modules at the school 3IS in
Yeah.
Paris as well as in Bordeaux. Like tomorrow, from tomorrow for 3 days I'll be teaching at the school.
Hmm. So what all do you teach? Like DJing, music production, and
No, the school is not on DJing. So the school is more. It's basically music production on
hmm.
Ableton. So I'm Ableton specialist kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And there are different years batches. So first year I teach them the basic introduction and blah blah blah. So in the end, they learn basic about how to produce music on it, and then at the end of the course they will know how to make music on the video clip on Ableton. You know,
On a video clip, is it?
yeah, videos.
Oh, okay. Like a background score or something. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's
So
cool.
basically, that's what Ableton can do. So
Hmm,
we put a
of course.
video clip and we make music accordingly. So I teach them that. So I bring them to that level.
Hmm.
And then third year students, I teach. Second year, I think I teach a little more detailed stuff, sound
Hmm.
design, a little bit here. Third year, I teach sound design as well as using analog gear, how to bring analog gear, record it, how to use, all that stuff. Little more advanced.
Okay. Okay. So how do like what do students do right after the course ends? Like, do they go to clubs and start their scene, or like what's
See,
what's?
3IS, which is the company of my wife and my father. They have a record to give employment. They teach only things where you can get employed. So
Ah,
filmmaking and sound design. So
ah,
87.7% of people, students, for example, the data they have,
yeah.
get get employed within next 2 months after they finish the course.
That's pretty chill.
They're very big. So the students are they work in the different departments from stage designing to the lighting designing to the movie filmmaking, direction, production, post production, video games, graphics, sound design. So they create something like that. So the employment rate, and this is the philosophy of 3IS. They don't want to, for them, for example, acting does not give you 100% job.
Hmm.
DJing will not give you 100% job. Music design, music production
Of
at a
course.
higher level will give you the job.
Hmm. Even I did like a music production degree, and then I went to a film school for like couple of years. So there I realized that if I'm not able to make money through DJing, I can rather do it for films, no?
This is the philosophy of my father-in-law, who believes in
Yeah.
that. He's got a highest award in France for this, because to create employment, the highest. India में भारत रत्न कहते हैं, यहाँ पे लेजर डिनर कहते हैं, like it's like it's the biggest highest award. So he's got from the
Yeah.
French for that.
Yeah. So back in 2017, I started my own academy, but it boomed like miserably.
What kind of academy did you do?
The same DJing and music production. So
Uh,
I took like a place, a basement sort of place, and students used to come down over there. But then like in like a year or something, it's like they stopped coming. So I said, damn,
no,
I gotta do something else with my life now.
I tell you one thing. What happens today, because the competition is also high. You have to have a teacher has to have a credibility.
Like, of course, yeah.
Bigger the teacher, the bigger the teacher should, the students have to look up to you, that you are,
Yeah.
wow, you have achieved that. So
What they
so
want to do with their
that
life, you have achieved already.
exactly, you should become their mentor. You should become their star. Then only lot of students come to me because of my lot of credentials, very big credentials I have. They come to me, okay,
Yeah.
I will. So this is what you have to do. So you have to keep
So
evolving. So yeah. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You were saying something.
no, nothing. I can talk. I can talk bullshit forever.
So like I want to know, so like if a student is starting out as like a DJ producer, what's the most common reason that they fail or they do not achieve what they want to achieve?
What was the question? What was it?
I'm asking like if a student is starting out as a DJ producer, what's the most common reason that they fail or they do not achieve what they want to achieve with their skill?
I think it's maybe I had some experiences in India
Hmm.
where kids have come to me to become a DJ. They came for the wrong reason. They came
Hmm.
to be popular and they thought it was very easy or whatever, and they came to the wrong teacher, because I don't teach easy way.
Hmm.
Right? I'm very nice. I'm very cooperative, but I teach the way I learned it. For example, hard way, and putting effort in there. If you don't put an effort in there, it will never happen. So mostly they fail there. They give up because it does not live up to their expectations. For example, what they want
Hmm.
to do, they don't achieve it, a lot of every young kid wants to be superstar overnight. When I wanted to be, right?
But I've seen like super talented DJs who can actually do like really cool stuff. They can produce great music, but still Like after like couple of years when they stop getting gigs or they do not make like a lot of money out of it or like to sustain their lifestyle, they stop doing it, no? Or maybe it's because scene in India, or could be, I don't know.
I think the scene in India, not only in India, everywhere is going to be very difficult now. It was already getting more and more difficult because the technology was becoming easier. Every second guy thought he's a DJ, and DJing became very easy. DJing is no skill now. Let's be honest
Yeah,
with you. DJing
of
is no
course.
skill. Now the skill now it lies with the music production, and eventually music production will also possibly in 10 years from now, being the digital music production will become like a kiddie stuff. You know.
Hmm. Of course.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think there's a lot of there will always be a competition, but then you have to believe in yourself. You know, they're like for example, they are everybody is doing business, but there are like guys one like I would not like to name him. I hate him. Mukesh Ambani, and they are Bill Gates, and they are some big guys. They do business, but they do it differently. You know, for example. So you have to have patience, passion, which I think that would be the only reason, unless you don't have music in you, or you don't have that thing in you. But I think more 99% is you do not put too much effort in it as much required to be there. You do not have that power to sustain. You
Yeah.
have will to sustain rather. That's how they feel.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are some roadblocks to look out for when you're starting out as a DJ producer?
Uh, Roadblocks. I would say roadblocks as a DJ producer. You should dream where you want to go, but you should have patience, and you should put in yeah, same thing. You should have patience. You should wait. You should put in effort. You know, it's like it will take 5 years to grow a tree and start giving mangoes.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
you plant the seed, you work hard. For example, I started producing in 2012, I think, just after I shut down my club properly, right?
Yeah.
And I was again very lucky because I had a co-producer who kind of mixed my track, Nito, and we became it was a big hit. Then I did my own stuff, and there are some tracks I produced. They are horrible. They are so horrible. I don't want to even tell people these things. But there's some tracks, and then yeah, you learn, you do mistakes, you get frustrated, you get, but that frustration should not let you give up. So those kind of things will happen. You know, your technology learning something here and there, one button wrong here, then you don't understand why it is happening. It happens with me also all the time, even now. Like all of a sudden, one synth is not working, everything is right. There's one small step which I've skipped.
Hmm.
So you have to have the patience. You have to have that will to succeed.
Do you think like it's almost like film, this DJing and music production? It's a rich man's art. Do you think?
Uh,
If you're not financially like stable, or if you come from like really, poor background,
yeah,
you.
unfortunately, that the gear costs a lot.
Hmm.
To be honest with you, I'm just looking around while I'm talking. I'm looking around my table. I think it costs a lot. It unless yeah, it is a slow thing. Like even now, for example, I'll be very honest with you. I'm not making money and not enough money, and I need some small cables. I need some small little organizing stands and patch bays, and this and it will cost me like 200 euros, right? I don't immediately go and buy it. I rather because I have different priorities at the moment, right? So I wait for it. I struggle through it. You know, I will see okay when I can afford the 250 euros altogether to buy those wires and the MIDI connectors and this and that and the stands for my rack for my thing. Then I will buy it. So it's a struggle, and you cannot. When you make money, you do it. I will not do it. I will not ask my wife or my family or my friends. Okay, you give me that money. I will pay you later. I will do it on my own. That's the way it should be.
Yeah,
You
of
you
course.
start slow. You learn. You earn. You reinvest.
Yeah. I read in a blog by Fortet somewhere that he produced his latest album only on Ableton Live, and he just had a headphone with him. That's it, a headphone and his laptop, and he created the whole album then.
Yeah, a lot of guys who are fantastic. I was watching some guy which is I don't know his name. He's a great producer and he has a table which is smaller than mine. Actually, my table, if I show you what my table is actually not a real music production table. It's a beer garden table, which I kind of created for my own for my to fulfill my own needs. So I have two beer
Yeah.
garden tables and then the two beer garden four stools where everything is set up like this. And this is not a proper studio. So this is like a basement wine cellar of a house. I cannot do much. I just put in whatever padding, whatever I can do. These
Yeah.
walls are specially designed for the wine, storing wine.
Hmm.
There's proper flooring. I have a carpet here, which is so so it's you. I think it's beautiful also to work hard and to earn your own thing. When I buy, for example, if I buy a little small little synth for €100, for example, it gives me a pleasure. You know,
Yeah.
rather than asking my wife, okay, give me €2,000, or asking my brother, or taking Right now, I'm talking about that present situation. So it gives me a pleasure to earn that, and then you value it also. Like I wanted to have a mixer, for example, a proper mixer. Synths will go in, blah blah blah, and then come into this mixer. So it was costing me like 600-700 euros. So the moment I got the students, okay, you don't give me the money in India. I sent them the link, buy this for me, this address. I got the mixer. So I'm earning things like this. I am teaching, right? And I'm earning. Then I have this company, some big brands who because of my career, because of
Yeah.
my brand, they give me the instrument equipment free, like synthesizers free. I got some synthesizer free to fool around, and they want me to make videos, tutorials for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Ah.
say I get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 euros equipment free. But this is what I'm earning. You know, it's like a
Yeah.
pot. I get the equipment. I will after 6 months. I have to do something for them. I have to make a video for them. How to use this thing. How to use it my way. How to create it. And then if they like it, they'll put it on their blog, on their own groups, for example, and utilize it to promote their brand.
Yeah.
This is how you work.
That's nice. That's great. So are you like a Ableton certified trainer or
I'm not. I think
no?
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get. I'm trying. Not I'm trying. I'm not even actually trying. I'm gonna do a very special Ableton one because for my school, I will need that kind of certification also.
How
Because
important is that to get the certification
I
as
don't know.
a as
I don't know how important is that because I have friends in Ableton. I have Ableton for free, for example. I did never paid for Ableton, so I got it free because of my friends in they're from Berlin, so they
yeah.
give. So
What do
uh,
they say about it, the certification
I
program
never
that
asked him. I did not ask them completely, but I think there are some Ableton like for me. Okay, to be honest with you, I did not feel the need so far to get the certification because I think when people see my releases, my tracks on the labels I have, so end of the day, you can have a certificate or degree and you're an
yeah.
idiot, or you don't have a degree or certificate and you're a genius, you know. So I think I'm on the other way, but to get a certificate, I think it's gonna there'll be a formal test or something like that, which I think I'm very capable of, which I'm
There's a
good.
friend of mine who's actually a certified trainer, so he was telling me a couple of questions, like the type of question that they ask and stuff
Yeah,
like that. I'm saying, like, dude, it's very, like, it's very
oh, yeah. So
subtle and it's very, I don't
I
know
think
what's the word for it,
I
but
think it's not difficult. It's not difficult to get.
yeah, it's not.
For a guy like me, I think should not be difficult. It will be a cakewalk. But I think I have a plan to do something more than certified trainer for the ability. So that's a tough one, but that's a challenge. Getting certified trainer, I think once I go to Berlin, I will get it.
That's good. That's good. So, who are some of the coolest people to look out for online or like for inspiration or growth in this industry, the electronic music or the dance industry?
It
Who are
depends.
some cool people do you think
What
people should look out
I look up to my friends actually. To be honest with you,
for? Yeah.
I have influence of a lot of DJs in my life in different aspects. For example, I have one of my best friends is Amicho, for example.
Yeah.
Yes, in fact, he pushes me. He clarifies things. Now I don't ask him a lot because I think gone beyond that stage. I have a friend Tom Wax who is my co-producer.
Yeah, I heard a couple of your tracks with him. Yes.
So Tom Wax is like my first point of recognition of the certification I'm passed or not. So I
Yeah.
look up to his reaction of my tracks. So you know, so that is important. Then I look up to a guy like Dr. Motte, for example, from Love Parade. A lot. He still inspires me a lot. He's also a friend. As a human, as a creator, the young. I have some friends who are young in Berlin, and so-called cool DJs. They're not also very good friends. They make fun of him because he's very old and he's whatever. But this man started techno. This man started Love Parade. Without Love Parade, Berlin, and without techno would not be so big because of Dr. Motte.
Yeah.
So for me, Dr. Motte is also one of my idols. Then I had some friends who passed away, like Pascal Fios, who died. He was my, like, I really loved him. His music was great. I used to play so many tracks. Met him a couple of times in Frankfurt. There's a guy called Mike Van Dyke, who also one of my co-producers. I like him also because he's great with his sound design. His ear is something so special, and he's a great. So I look up to all these guys. So and as a big star DJs, I really don't listen to music from them, because I don't want to get influenced by other people's music, right?
Mm. Yeah.
In India, there's one guy I really really I look up to his junior, Arjun Wagner.
Who? Arjun
Arjun,
Bagli. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I really like him. I like his music style. He's very respectful to me. He's like younger brother. So I like he kind of ignites the fire for
Okay.
me
Yeah.
to work harder. I like him. That he inspires me. The other amazing DJs also. I will not say the other guys are bad, but they have different styles and everything.
And I feel this Mr. Arjun Wagle, he's like very entrepreneurial also. Like he has
I,
that thing.
yeah, which is good. I think I was the same. I was an entrepreneur. I had my clubs. I had my business school. I had
Yeah, of course.
I had my sound system rental company. I don't know what all. I was managing clubs. So we were selling equipment, we were renting equipment, so everything. So it has to go all together. So he's doing what he has to do, what he can do, what he likes to do. But as a music producer, I really like him. I really like
Yeah.
he is yeah he moved faster than I expected.
So like if an Indian techno or a drum and bass DJ wants to move abroad and make a career there, so what preparation should they do to like land over there eventually?
There's this guy Ash Roy is going to move to Berlin. I think he moved to Berlin a few years ago, and I
Yeah.
think uh, he did some. He would be the best person to tell you what preparations to do.
No,
And
not
he's
like
pretty successful.
formal like paperwork and everything, not that, but like musically, like to should the guy like should build an audience already and then move there,
I think
like take.
building audiences अब ये तो अभी आया ना Facebook और SoundCloud how
Hmm.
many followers you have. When
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went, there was no social media. When I was a star, there was no social media. There was no digital cameras.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so uh, you have to have good music, and you have to somehow, yeah. You first of all, your content has to be great.
Yeah.
Nowadays is like if you want to move up anywhere in the world,
Hmm.
you have to have great productions, because today your production can be played in France to Germany to Ghana to Colombia to India to Sri Lanka, wherever, in China, anywhere. So that
So
makes you
production should be the main focus.
for production. I think create tracks, create your portfolio.
So a little personal, like how has your life changed after marriage?
After marriage, I
If
think after marriage, I think I've become more sensible, because my wife
yeah.
is a very sensible woman. She's very she has no idea about techno music, but she still tolerates me. She's she still tolerates me, and she's not all the time, nice with words. When it comes to my stupidities, for example, if she hates my social media, you know,
It's your social media. What do you mean?
because my habits of social media, write a lot of crap, and
Oh, the BJP and. This that. Yeah, yeah. I was
No,
checking
not
out.
immediately. I think no. Deep inside, she understands that I am very emotionally attached to the political situation and the social conditions of India. That I don't think. But before that, I used to write some really stupid things, which is which is not really French culture because my wife comes from a very educated background. They're very well educated. They run schools and everything. So she's a very sensible woman. She's amazing. So she tolerates my stupidity, which is she has kept to give me a company in stupidity. She got me two cats, so I have. I, yeah. So that
So do you,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, you were saying something.
So
So do you think like record labels are really needed in for like a DJ producer to get that push since everything is accessible to everyone because of
it's
internet?
funny that you asked me this question. For 25 years, I was thinking I should start a record label. I should start a record.
What
But
do you say?
it never gave me a complete satisfaction with the answer yes I should. And I said okay, never record label. You don't need it because you have big labels. If your music is good, big labels will release. Really, I created some music. Last two tracks I put it on SoundCloud, and I realized I don't want to give it for some reason because there were record labels and nobody is selling, releasing records in COVID time. Not nobody, not many are releasing it because people are not buying it. Because
Yeah.
I got released on a very big record label called Bush Records with Carl Cox,
Hmm.
and I think it just went because it got released on the 20th of March, the worst
Oh.
time ever, right? I got no feedback. I got no money. I have not even asked for it because you know what it's. I saw very few people playing it somewhere. Who tagged you okay on the site, radio site, because people are not buying records. So I said, okay, this is a good time. I produced some very cool tracks, which I'm very proud of, which is totally different,
Hmm.
right? And I put them on social media,
Yeah.
right? And they did phenomenally well. So I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to gauge, test waters, how the record label will work if I start my own record label.
Hmm.
And I think it's come to 99% yes, I will start a record label soon. So I was 2 days ago, I was thinking, okay, I was never say never. I would say never, I would never go to France. I would never get married. I got married in France and I'm like, whatever. I would never start a record label. I think I'm going to start a record label. So,
Beautiful. It's true. So yeah, it's needed. One should have a record
yeah,
label.
because
Yeah.
and in fact, after I put the track, uh, one record label, in fact, yesterday only asked me, "Can you just take the track off from the SoundCloud? I will release it from England." And I saw the record label. It's not known, but I think it has some great artists, some great music. So I don't mind it as some. I saw the thing today in the morning. He said, "Okay, please send me the tracks."
Hmm.
So maybe let's see. I'm just like 99% sure. I surely I will.
So this record label meeting when it happens in this techno game, like, is it the same as when you go to a Z Music or a T Series? You sit with them, have a meeting, and see where it's going to go, or is it some different way that you go about it in techno music?
See, for me, I never approached record labels before in my life. Even now, I don't approach.
Yeah.
My co-producers, my friends, they help me. So they just say, okay, this track is good. For example, I was on Kling Klong because Namito said, okay, I'm opening new Kling Klong as Martin Ara, and they said, okay, now we have to open. Release a track. What electronic music? I made a track with Tom Wax, and I thought it was totally uh, kind of a okay hit track, nothing great because the bass line was off. And one day, fine day, I get a call from message from Tom. Oh, hey, Rami, Tronic Music wants to release a track. Should I say yes? Yes, why not? So I got on Tronic. So Bush Records, I got it thanks to Tom Bags. I then at Bluefin, Namito introduced me to Bluefin guys, and the first release on Bluefin was number one on German charts. Second release was number one on German charts. So which was yeah. So I never approached record labels. So and then initially Namito and Tom, even till now, Tom actually handles contracts. I don't even look at it. So I get to know okay, I have this much money. Sometimes when I do a remix with the record label, they give me the money first. So I don't release at the moment because most of the record players, the young guys, for example, you know,
Hmm.
they don't want to give the money, and I don't like to do without money because if they
Yeah.
don't
Is
money
it big? Is it like okay money like
now,
for tech?
okay, techno music is even if it's 500 euros, for example, but
Hmm.
they should if they cannot even give you 500 euros, that means it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Understand? 500 euros plus a royalty, you know, because
Yeah.
to earn 500 euros they have to work hard.
Hmm.
If they cannot do that, if they don't have money involved in the on their head, okay, they will lose that money. They will not
Hmm.
work hard. That means your
Of
record is
course.
going to bomb. I've done it. I've done it with one or two guys like that, and they were good tracks. They bombed. They did not do well because the guy was not interested.
And they do like proper paperwork, and you can't even take your
No,
tracks
no,
off from.
no, no. You ask 90% of the guys in India or wherever. Oh, do you get money for the records? We never made money. Yeah, I will not do. So that's one of the reasons I did it. It's like I'm not going to make money. Record labels are not going to release a track now. I wanted to release a track before 2nd of October. I did a track for against fascism. So it's called. So I wanted to release it before. Nobody would release it. They will not even promote it. You know,
Hmm.
I will not get the money. So I rather put it free online on my
Yeah.
out, and I got a fucking amazing, a much better response than I ever expected.
Hmm.
You know?
Hmm.
So this is so I want to make money out of it. That's how you have to be. You
Of
have to make
course.
money. If somebody is telling you, okay, we don't make money and this and that, you know how the record is. That means the guy is either trying to fool you, or is not capable to handle you.
Hmm. 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 So apart from live gigs and this record label distribution, what are some of the sources for the DJ producer to make some money apart from live gigs and
You can
distribution?
you can start online teaching. You can become a sound consultant. You can do the music production for the advertisements, for the jingles, for there are a lot of video content which is going on. You can there was some kind of a business. I don't know whether it still exists or not. You producer, but there was a business
Yeah.
which I see some advertisement because one of the guys approached me to do that, but he
Hmm.
kind of I think he was an idiot. So he said, okay, I produce some tracks.
Hmm.
I give it to him. So he will have his website where people will come. Okay, I want to buy this track. I want to buy this track. I want to. They pay you the money, X amount
Hmm.
of money, and they take 15% commission. That the rest of the money comes to me. I have to finish the track. I will just be at the back. I will have no name. The guy will have all the rights. Something like that. You make money like.
Damn, that's good business, no?
If you buy the tracks, people don't have time or efforts, or they don't have knowledge to produce, so they do that. I don't know whether this business is working or not, but that is one way. Teaching, opening a school, opening a nightclub, opening a music store or an equipment store, becoming a consultant, becoming a blogger. I think there's a lot of money in this
Hmm.
industry.
Music blogger.
Music blogger, yeah, why not?
So, a little intense can we go?
Sure.
Yeah, so share some of your biggest failures or when you had hit rock bottom. So, what was that like and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure was my ego is my biggest, and, and then there's something else which I don't know whether I should say not. My habits of doing I was getting carried away with some drugs, and that was a very bad. That I really regret. So so I kind of I thought I was God's gift to mankind. So that was my biggest failure. And now my biggest failure here is again my ego because I think I didn't learn French fast enough. I'm learning
Hmm.
French now. Now I'm making an effort to do it. So that is ego is I think the biggest failure. And
Do they understand you though? Like, is English popular there?
I think Bordeaux. I don't know many people here actually, to be honest with you. But I can speak now. I can understand French when if they speak, if they don't speak very fast. I understand most of it. I have a very weird, strange accent, which is Punjabi, English, German, and then I'm trying to speak French, which is kind of
No,
strange.
you have a really nice voice though. It's almost like a voiceover artist.
So yeah,
I
so
can imagine your voice playing in a metro or somewhere. Darwaze Aake.
you know, my boy, there's a very popular. I think a lot of DJs say that Saturday night, Sunday morning. And
Yeah.
that's me. That actually I started in 19. All my DJs follow that. And whenever sometimes if somebody writes it, like if you see my posts sometimes on people, I read Saturday night, Sunday morning, Rami Sharma, something like that. So anyway, forget the voice. But what I was talking, what were we talking?
Yeah, yeah. You the scene, the rock bottom, and you used to
Yeah,
do
so
that.
so yeah, the ego. I think
You-
ego is the biggest problem, and that's what we discussed. My wife was also telling me that my ego is my biggest enemy, and all my friends tell me that my ego is my biggest enemy. So I'm trying to.
and it keeps popping up in front of you. Is that
It
what
does.
you're saying?
It does. It does. It does. It does. I cannot.
And in the
I
most
can.
unexpected situations.
I'm not aggressive when it comes to ego, but I just think that I don't say anything. Like if I have an ego, for example, if somebody that, I meet some guys at the bar in Bordeaux, for example, and they talk like blah 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 how cool they are. The level of DJing and the level of music production is zilch. They have no credibility and they talk like as they're the God's gift to mankind. And then they talk big shit. And then the moment they get to see if they explore my credibility, and they're like, okay, and then they still have that ego, you know. So that what pisses me off. You don't know anything, you know. There was one guy I met at bar. Oh, I play at Sisyphus. I said, which club? Yeah. Well, and then when he got to know I am regular at Sisyphus, I'm almost like a resident. He was lying to his clan in Bordeaux. He disappeared. I hate people who are lying. I hate people who are. For me, that is it. People they think they are great and they're not good. Like for example, I make fun
So
of
that's
my.
almost like you don't like stupidity.
I don't like that's and I personally think I'm proud of what I know, but I'm also uh, kind of not ashamed. I make fun of my ignorance, and I try to you know become better. I try to beat
Revise.
myself from yesterday. What I was yesterday, I want to be better than what I was yesterday. So that's
That's
that's what my ego is, right?
beautiful. That's really beautiful. So how long? Uh, how do I say this? How long does it take as a DJ producer to like become like a be stable in the scene, or you know how long does it take to learn this skill, be out there and
Oh,
make money?
learning is never ending, dude. I will later on show you this. I'll put the camera and show you. Learning is does not stop.
Of
Learning does
course.
not stop. And how long does it take? I was lucky with my experience because I was younger. I was more curious. There was a less competition that time, and there was pure hard work. It's like you break the rock, you make a glass out of it, and drink water in. It's like that. Right now, it's become more difficult. It's become more complicated. Some people sham it through. Some people, there, a lot of shammers like Facebook show off and blah, whatever social media show off. They succeed. Some people who are really genius, they fail because they are social media shy. Like I'm social media shy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very shy. I hate bragging about myself. So so,
Acha.
so I don't. So anyway, so some people are like that. So I would say learning is till the last minute of your life,
Of
till the
course.
last
Yeah.
second of your life.
Yeah.
It depends how much you want to learn, right? How much you want to create, and starting making money. I would say, uh, yeah, learn. I would say it's like a school. Spend at least a year,
Yeah.
right? And that does not mean that in that year when you are learning, you go out and not try. You don't go out and try to earn money out of it. But don't go out and overcommit that. Oh, you are this and this and that. Be your own judge. Be your own critic. The big, I think the biggest critic is within you yourself. You have to be like that. So if you do something like that, you will learn faster. The more you learn, the faster you will learn. I would say.
That's one of the best thing that I've heard since morning.
I just realized it.
So yeah, so it's almost the end of this session. So I want to know like where people can follow you, your see your music, listen to your music.
My music
Can,
is my release music is all on all platforms from Beatport to iTunes to Shazam to Spotify to wherever I don't know what other things. And my SoundCloud is DJ Rami Sharma. SoundCloud DJ Rami
yeah.
Sharma. which is I put something. And Mixcloud is also there, but I don't really put much. I don't DJ at home.
Yeah.
And my social media is official page DJ Rami Sharma.
Hmm. Hmm.
Instagram is same Rami
And
Sharma.
if they want to like join your academy and approach you for
Or you can
instruction.
they can send me a message and you can possibly write my no, don't write my number actually. They can send me a message. A lot of people follow me. Actually, my Instagram, my students come from my Instagram posts. My
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to make an effort to focus only my music on Instagram. So I get a lot of queries from for the music teaching and collaborations on Instagram. So
Instagram. So
yeah,
that's where they should connect with you.
wherever
Just drop your message and you can
message,
take them.
you can actually. So this is how.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Lee. You well? Is it over?